Joining us now is James Sykes, President and CEO at Baselode Energy. Good to see you again.
Likewise, Mark.
Remind us, James, of the baseload strategy of Athabasca 2.0, whereby you're exploring outside the basin.
We're looking for something that's economic, and we've looked at the history of the Athabasca, especially exploration and development. And most of it has occurred within, or at least the exploration side, most of it has occurred within the sandstone unit itself, within the Athabasca Basin. And there have been a number of discoveries. Most of the discoveries are made underneath that sandstone. But if you look at how many of those operations have gone into production, underground, there's only been two. That's McArthur River, Cigar Lake. Both of those are the unicorns of the industry. They're both over 300 million pounds, both over 20% when they started production. That's what people are looking for, but they're not always found. So when you take a step back and you say, okay, well, you can make a discovery, but then why does it take 50 years? Why does it take 40 years to go to make a discovery and still not be in production? Comes back to that sandstone. So look at the mining side of things. What has been developed in northern Saskatchewan? It's been the projects outside of the sandstone. Historically, you've got Uranium City, which was 60 million, 70 million pounds mined out of open pits and added access declines. You've got Clough Lake, which is another 60 million pounds. Same situation. Those open pits, they built the mills in the areas. The Rabbit Lake area, again, that was an open pit. They built the mill. Further open pits were mined, and then Eagle Point mine. That's underground basement or added access. So that's what drives development in the Athabasca. It's not the discoveries within the sandstone, it's the ones outside. So we've identified that and figured that we want to make a discovery, as every company does, but we want to go beyond that. We want to discover a mine. And that's where Athabasca 2.0 came out. We figured that nobody's really set out with some of the understanding or technicalities of where to look for these said deposits, and we think that our strategy is one that works.
Right, and your strategy is proving itself out because your results from your 2022 drill program, 50 of 76 holes hit mineralization. So how good is that hit rate? Is that extraordinary, or?
We're very happy with it. It's absolutely amazing. And to be honest, it could have been higher. When we started our drilling last year, we were starting on the eastern side of the discovery, and we were drilling towards the west. What we realized afterwards is that our drill holes were following the mineralization. As soon as we changed our orientation and started drilling from the west towards the east, we basically had close to 100% success rate. So we're very encouraged with that. A lot of the, no hole is really a miss. It always provides information, whether how close you are to something else or how distal you are. But everything has been absolutely successful at Accio, and we couldn't have asked for anything better. We hit exactly what we wanted to find, and that was near surface, high-grade uranium mineralization that is close to infrastructure, most notably licensed mills within the area.
And you said, James, that holes 65 and 69 were whoppers. Now, you worked at Arrow with the Next Gen. Are there similarities?
There are similarities. Arrow, to be absolutely honest, is a wonderful deposit. That's over 200 million pounds, and it's very tight. There's a lot of high-grade mineralization within there. Yes, we do see high-grade, simply not to the extent that Arrow certainly has. But the similarities are that they're basement-hosted mineralization, very clean mineralization, so there's not a lot of added elements, which makes for much easier processing down the road. But we're still underexplored at Accio. Even though 50 drill holes hit, we took a shotgun approach to exploration, and we left a lot of ground open, especially to the west. So we don't know the full extents. So there could be an Arrow. There could be a Pod 2 McArthur River sitting down there. We just don't know yet and need to put in more drilling.
Now, speaking of drilling, you're going to start next year at your Catharsis project. You're also going to drill at other areas of your Hook region. So what are your expectations there?
Huge. Our expectations are always high. Yes,
yeah.
We've got great targets on all of our projects, and we're very excited to get around to drilling some of those this year. The reason, so we are going to do Catharsis. We're planning about 2,500 meters in 12 to 16 drill holes, covering 4 target areas. That will be the first project that we're going to drill in 2023 from January to March, simply because the logistics work. It is more cost effective, and we feel that we benefit from that. The project needs some cash put onto it to keep it in good standing as well, but it's definitely what's right by our shareholders, that we will not, by going to Accio first, we would be burning more dollars than we would at Catharsis. So the upside potential of going to Catharsis first, if we make another discovery there, we're going to be laughing all the way. Our targets are all generated from the same criteria that was used to discover Accio as well. So we've got a lot of hope and potential in Catharsis alone. But then obviously Accio is our flagship, and we're going back there in March. So when the daylight hours are more amenable to helicopter operations and it's warmer out, so we're not burning as much fuel for camps and drills, and then you don't have to sling that much fuel either with a helicopter, it makes more sense to start that during the springtime and continue operating throughout the summer and fall. So we're looking at a much larger drill program on Accio, 20,000 meters, that will be dedicated to trying to get us to an NI 43-101 resource to start by Q4 of next year. That's the big goal, that's the big push. Aside from that though too, is we are looking at having another drill on the project, doing more reconnaissance exploration, looking to add more discovery potential to an already wonderfully growing deposit at Accio. So we'll be focused on a 1 kilometer radius around Accio, where we've got 4 targets defined, very exciting targets defined around Accio, but also on a regional scale, we've got 4 additional target areas out there, and each of those programs we're budgeting about 5,000 meters worth.
Now, James, you mentioned shareholders. Insiders have skin in the game at 17%. Institutions own about 45% of Baselode Energy. You're in the Sprott ETF. They own about 5%. So what does that stamp of approval mean, do you think, for investors who may not know the story that well?
I think the Sprott ETF is one of the most solid backings that we could have asked for. And that was their purchase. Were all off the open market. There was no special deal for that. But to have We made the discovery in September of last year, and Sprott had purchased us, the ETF had purchased us in March of this year. So basically within a 6-month time frame, we had one of the most well-known uranium ETFs in the marketplace backing Baselode. And that was a huge support that has really benefited the company, and I think that's something that investors should hang their hat on. Is, here's an ETF banking their dollars on this company, and so you kind of have to think why. So we believe they see the same thing that we do, that Accio is just a huge success. All of our insiders, obviously, we want skin in the game, where we're all fully behind this company, and we want to see this excel and achieve the best for all of our shareholders.
Lastly, James, when you look at the map of the Athabasca Basin, it's just littered with companies and partnerships and projects. Now, you tell us that you have maps going back to the late 90s right through to now. You get them annually. How have you seen it morph and sort of change over the years?
It's like an accordion, to be honest. Yeah, it's really like an accordion, and it follows the uranium market. So when times are lean, for example, post Fukushima, there weren't a lot of exploration companies in the area, and the ones that had a lot of historic claims and just held on to them. There wasn't a lot of activity, simply because uranium wasn't in favor. When times are hot, so we go back to 2005, 2006, and you can really see on an annual basis around that time, even at 2004 leading up to it, the land package really started to grow. In 2006, 2007, it got so busy that there was almost no piece of land available. You look at it now, and it's basically the same picture. Our Hook project is completely surrounded. We've got nowhere to go there. Catharsis and Shadow, though, because we've taken a different approach to exploration, we're seeing something different that we think others aren't. Those projects still remain quite open. So any potential discovery down there, we can definitely ramp up and increase our land package in that area. But because of that, because of just that accordion kind of exploration, or just interest in the area, that allowed us to get the projects that we wanted in 2020. We were early into the game before everyone else came, which was around 2021, really started heating up. But that, it could have been any other company who would have staked the Accio area, but it was Baselode because we had the foresight to like that area, and we got in nice and early.
Nice timing.
Absolutely.
And you've given us a lot of great information, lots to think about. Sounds very exciting with Baselode, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, James Sykes, President and CEO at Baselode Energy. Our thanks to him, and thanks to you for watching. We'll see you next time.